European Qualifying Examination M1 Prep Exercise for Reading Only, Annotated Teaching Version. Barış Atalay. Description of the application. The invention relates to roof tiles comprising solar collectors.
Teaching note. Always begin by identifying what the invention is about in general terms. Here, roof tiles. This defines the field of the invention, which later helps in selecting the closest prior art. Note also that the invention combines two known technologies, roofing materials and solar energy collection, which may affect the inventive step reasoning.
Figure 1 shows part of a roof, which comprises conventional roof tiles 1. The roof tiles 1 are supported on roof battens 2. Adjacent roof tiles 1 interlock with each other. Conventional roof tiles may have different forms.
Teaching note. Early figures often show the environment of the invention. Paragraph 2 sets the baseline, conventional tiles and their support. Recognize this as part of the background disclosure, not the invention itself. These details help define what features are known, so they are excluded from the inventive contribution.
A known solar collector of a first type provides electrical energy. It comprises a photovoltaic module which absorbs solar radiation and provides electrical energy. A known solar collector of a second type provides thermal energy. It comprises means for absorbing solar radiation to heat a fluid such as water or air.
Teaching note. This paragraph introduces two existing technologies, photovoltaic, electrical, and thermal solar collectors. The distinction between providing electrical energy and providing thermal energy will be crucial later. Ask yourself, which type does the applicant's invention concern, or does it combine both?
It is known to arrange solar collectors as solar panels. Typically, solar panels are mounted on the roofs of buildings. Such solar panels disturb the appearance of the buildings. Furthermore, they may become detached from the roofs in strong winds.
Teaching note. This section states the problem with the prior art, poor aesthetics, and structural reliability. Such statements often form the implicit technical problem. Highlight these disadvantages. They are clues to what the invention aims to solve. Candidates should later reformulate this into an objective technical problem.
An object of the present invention is to address these drawbacks. This is achieved by the subject matter of the claims.
Teaching note. When you see a phrase like an object of the invention, it signals the intended improvement. The actual mechanism will appear in later paragraphs describing embodiments. At this point, note that the claims must deliver improved appearance and robustness compared with conventional solar panels.
Brief description of the drawings. Figure 1 shows part of a roof. Figure 2 shows a roof tile according to the invention. Figure 3 shows a cross-section of a roof tile according to a first preferred embodiment of the invention. Figure 4 shows a cross-section of a roof tile according to a second preferred embodiment of the invention. Figure 5 shows a cross-section of a roof tile according to a third preferred embodiment of the invention. Figures 6a and 6b show two alternative arrangements of a part of the roof tiles of figures 4 and 5.
Teaching note. List of figures gives you the map of embodiments. Each figure corresponds to a preferred form. The number of embodiments, 3 here, already signals potential claim dependencies and fallback options. Annotate which figures are electrical versus thermal. This will help later when deciding which claims to keep.
The invention will now be described with reference to the drawings.
Teaching note. This marks the transition from background to detailed description of embodiments. From now on, focus on technical details that might later become claim features. Pay attention to structural relationships, e.g., what lies between what, and any functional statements about heat transfer or protection.
Figure 2 shows a roof tile 1 according to the invention. It comprises a transparent cover 3 for admitting solar radiation into the roof tile 1, a frame 4, and a solar collector 5 for absorbing the solar radiation. The frame 4 supports the transparent cover 3 and holds the solar collector 5. The transparent cover 3 protects the solar collector 5 from rain and dirt. The frame 4 can be made of ceramic and has the form of a conventional roof tile.
Teaching note. This paragraph defines the core components. Cover 3, frame 4, collector 5. Always note which features are essential. Cover plus collector and which are optional material of frame. At this stage, these features correspond to the broadest possible independent claim, mark the explicit functions, admitting radiation, protecting the collector, as they justify functional wording later. Figure 3 shows a roof tile 1 according to the invention. The roof tile 1 comprises a transparent cover, 3, a frame 4, and a solar collector 5. The solar collector 5 comprises a photovoltaic module, 6, a metal plate 7, and electrical wires 8. The photovoltaic module, 6, is mounted on the metal plate 7. Teaching note: this embodiment is the electrical energy version. Keep track. It introduces new elements 6 to 8. PV module, plate, wires. Note that the metal plate 7 supports the module 6. Later this will serve as a heat sink. The hierarchy here is collector arrow module plus plate plus wires. Such mapping helps reconstruct dependencies for drafting dependent claims.
The efficiency of photovoltaic modules decreases as their temperature increases. The metal plate 7 ensures that heat is dissipated from the photovoltaic module 6. The metal plate 7 is preferably made of a metal with a high thermal conductivity such as copper.
Teaching note: this is a functional justification for feature 7. Whenever the description explains why a part is used, it signals that the feature may later appear in a claim with a functional expression so that heat can be dissipated. Note also the optional material. Candidates should avoid limiting to copper unless needed for novelty.
Figure 4 shows a roof tile 1 according to the second preferred embodiment of the invention. This roof tile 1 has improved heat dissipation. The roof tile 1 comprises a transparent cover 3, a frame 4, and a solar collector 5. The solar collector 5 comprises a photovoltaic module 6, a metal plate 7, electrical wires 8, a fluid-tight passageway 9 for fluid, connectors 11 for fluid, and a thermal insulation layer 10. The fluid-tight passageway 9 follows a meandering path along the metal plate 7.
Teaching note: here the invention shifts toward a hybrid electrical thermal version. Pay special attention to new terms: fluid-tight passageway 9 and thermal insulation layer 10. These will become key distinguishing features for novelty over D1 and D2. The word meandering signals optional geometry, likely not essential for the main claim.
The photovoltaic module 6 is mounted on the metal plate 7. The photovoltaic module 6 and the metal plate 7 are arranged between the fluid-tight passageway 9 and the transparent cover 3 in such a way that heat can be transferred from the metal plate 7 to the fluid.
Teaching note: this sentence is central to the invention. The spatial relationship between and functional effect, so that heat can be transferred, are both essential. Highlight this. It will form the distinguishing feature in the amended independent claim. The combination of structural and functional definition is acceptable under EPC Article 84 if supported by the description.
Fluid can enter the fluid-tight passageway 9 via one of the connectors 11. It then flows through the fluid-tight passageway 9 and exits the fluid-tight passageway via the other connector 11. The heated fluid can, for example, be used to heat a building. The fluid can, for example, be water or air.
Teaching note: note that the invention does not depend on the type of fluid. Water and air are examples. Avoid restricting the claim to either. However, the term fluid-tight passageway implies the presence of a closed circuit, distinguishing from open channels, e.g., D1-2.
When mounting such roof tiles, the connectors of neighboring roof tiles are interconnected via separate flexible hoses, not shown, to form a solar collector system in which fluid can flow successively through a plurality of roof tiles.
Teaching note: this describes how individual tiles are connected, leading to a system claim. Note that hoses are external. This is not necessarily part of each tile. Keep this distinction clear. Tile features versus system features. A later dependent claim can cover the system, but the independent claim should stay on the tile itself.
Figure 5 shows a roof tile 1 according to the third preferred embodiment of the invention. A solar collector system comprising a plurality of these roof tiles can be quickly assembled. The roof tile 1 shown in Figure 5 differs from the one of Figure 4 only in the arrangement of the connectors. In the roof tile 1 of Figure 5, the connectors are arranged as a plug connector 11A and a socket connector 11B. The plug connector 11A and socket connector 11B are so located on opposite sides of the roof tile that when a plurality of such roof tiles are mounted as part of a roof, the plug connector of a roof tile engages with the socket connector of a neighboring roof tile, not shown.
Teaching note: the third embodiment modifies only the connector design. This is an optional improvement, typically suited for a dependent claim. Candidates must also remember the client's letter, which specifically asks to protect this version fast assembly.
Figures 6A and 6B show two alternative arrangements of the fluid-tight passageways of the roof tiles, shown in Figures 4 and 5. In Fig 6A, the fluid-tight passageway 9 is formed by a metal tube 12 having a circular cross-section. The metal tube 12 is fixed to the underside of the metal plate 7, e.g. by soldering. In Figure 6B, the fluid-tight passageway 9 is formed by the metal plate 7 and a metal wall 13 having a U-shaped cross-section. The metal wall 13 is fixed to the underside of the metal plate 7, e.g. by soldering.
Teaching note: these alternatives provide two structural implementations of the same concept. Both achieve heat transfer from the plate to the fluid. Recognize this as a good dependent claim pair. Alternative embodiments can often be expressed as or features within one claim.
Roof tiles, according to the second and third preferred embodiments of the invention, can alternatively be made without photovoltaic modules and electrical wires. As in the roof tiles shown in Figures 4 and 5, the metal plate of one of these roof tiles is also arranged between the fluid-tight passageway and the transparent cover in such a way that heat can be transferred from the metal plate to the fluid.
Teaching note: this paragraph explicitly provides support for a purely thermal version, no PV module. This is critical because it broadens claim scope. Note how the same functional structure, plate between cover and passageway, still applies, confirming it as the essential inventive concept.
A solar collector system can be formed from any combination of a plurality of roof tiles according to the invention.
Teaching note: this forms the basis for a system claim, replacing the unclear original claim 8. The phrase "any combination" implies modularity. Use this wording for clarity. Candidates should note that system claims usually depend on device claims and may need Article 84 justification.
Original claims. Claim 1. A roof tile. 1. Comprising a transparent cover. 3. And a solar collector. 5.
Teaching note: this is the broadest claim, and intentionally so. It defines only the basic concept, a roof tile with a cover and a collector. When evaluating novelty, always ask, is there anything here that distinguishes from prior art? You'll find that both D1 and D2 disclose these two elements. Therefore, this claim will be anticipated by multiple documents. Lesson: independent claims at this level often get rejected for lack of novelty, so you must later identify what feature to add, e.g., the fluid-tight passageway, to make it new.
Claim 2. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 1, comprising a frame, 4, which supports the transparent cover, 3, and which holds the solar collector, 5.
Teaching note: this dependent claim specifies structural support. The frame adds mechanical stability, but D1 and D2 also show similar frames, 104-204. Thus, this claim also lacks novelty. However, noting how the frame relates to the rest, supporting cover and collector, is useful. It teaches how components integrate. You'll likely retain this in a dependent claim, but not as a novelty-creating feature.
Claim 3. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 1 or 2, wherein the solar collector, 5, comprises a metal plate, 7.
Teaching note: now we introduce the metal plate, a key structural and functional element. The plate helps with heat dissipation, and since both D1 and D2 use metal plates, it's still not novel. However, this feature becomes central when combined with others, e.g., a fluid-tight passageway and spatial arrangement. Always trace where each new element comes from in the description. Here, paragraph 9 and 10.
Claim 4. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 3, wherein the solar collector, 5, comprises a photovoltaic module, 6, mounted on the metal plate, 7.
Teaching note: this introduces the photovoltaic PV module, an electrical energy variant. D1 explicitly shows the same structure, PV module 106 on plate 107, so this claim too is anticipated. Nonetheless, this feature will later reappear in a dependent claim in the final amended version, as it offers a useful fallback for hybrid, electrical plus thermal embodiments.
Claim 5. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 3 or 4, wherein the solar collector, 5, comprises a passageway, 9, for fluid, and the metal plate, 7, is arranged above the passageway, 9, in such a way that heat can be transferred from the metal plate, 7, to the fluid.
Teaching note: this is the critical transitional claim, the first to combine thermal and structural features. It introduces the passageway for fluid and the functional effect heat transfer. However, notice the ambiguous wording arranged above. The EPO examiner later objects that this makes the position unclear, could even be inverted. Candidates must learn to define clear spatial relationships, for example, by saying, the metal plate is arranged between the transparent cover and the fluid-tight passageway. This type of amendment later restores novelty over D2.
Claim 6. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 5, wherein the passageway, 9, is formed by a metal tube, 12, having a circular cross-section, or by the metal plate, 7, and a metal wall, 13, having a U-shaped cross-section.
Teaching note: here, the two alternative constructions of the passageway are introduced, tube versus U-shaped wall. When drafting dependent claims, these are good fallback positions, as they provide support for different embodiments. Figures 6A and 6B. However, they do not add novelty by themselves, since D2 already discloses a circular metal tube. Important takeaway: even if a dependent claim isn't novel, it can still serve as fallback material if the independent claim later changes.
Claim 7. A roof tile, 1, according to Claim 5 or 6, wherein the solar collector comprises a plug connector, 11A, and a socket connector, 11B, through which the fluid can enter and exit the passageway, 9.
Teaching note: these connectors allow tiles to interlink hydraulically. They are useful for system assembly, but D2 also shows plug-socket connectors. Therefore, not novel alone, but the arrangement of connectors, e.g. on opposite sides engaging automatically, later becomes the distinguishing feature of the third embodiment, Figure 5. This is exactly what the client's letter refers to, so remember to preserve and expand this feature when amending the claims.
Claim 8. A solar collector system according to any of the above claims.
Teaching note: this claim is structurally unclear, a system claim referring back to device claims that aren't systems. That's why the examiner objects under Article 84 EPC. Clarity: the correct approach is to redefine it as a solar collector system formed from any combination of a plurality of roof tiles according to any of the preceding claims. This wording later reappears in the model answer and examiner's report. Lesson: always ensure that a system claim explicitly defines the relationship between its components and avoids circular references. Summary: claim dependency. The claims build step by step from 1 to 7. Mapping these dependencies helps you decide later which features to keep in order to regain novelty. Source of support: every claimed feature must have clear basis in the description. For example, the fluid-tight passageway is supported by paragraphs 11 to 17. Ambiguities: the expression arranged above is the key cause of the examiner's novelty objection. Fallback potential: keep alternative embodiments, such as the tubes and connector types, as dependent claims to preserve flexibility during amendment. Clarity for systems: always make a clear distinction between a single tile invention and a multi-tile system.
Communication from the EPO. Point 1. Documents D1, D2, and D3 were published before the priority date of the present application.
Teaching note: standard opening confirms all cited documents are prior art under Article 54(2) EPC. Always underline this line in an exam. It means everything D1 to D3 counts against novelty. No date or validity arguments are possible.
Point 2. The present application does not meet the requirements of Article 52(1) EPC because the subject matter of Claims 1 to 7 is not new in the sense of Article 54(1) and 2 EPC.
Teaching note: Article 52(1) equals patentable inventions. The examiner is effectively saying novelty is missing. Therefore, not an invention under 52(1). The root cause is lack of novelty under 54. This triggers your main drafting task. You must amend at least one independent claim to restore novelty.
Point 3. The subject matter of Claim 1 is not new with respect to document D1. See paragraphs 1, 4, and figures 1 and 2. D1 discloses a roof tile, 101, comprising a transparent cover 103 and a solar collector.
Teaching note: Identify overlap. D1 shows all features of Claim 1. Action: add something not in D1, e.g., a fluid passageway. Exercise: reread prior art to see what structural elements D1 already has. Remember, EPO novelty equals all features disclosed in combination. So find a feature combination missing in D1.
Point 4. The subject matter of Claim 1 is also not new with respect to document D2. See paragraph 1 and figure 1. D2 discloses a roof tile, 201, comprising a transparent cover, 203, and a solar collector.
Teaching note: the examiner lists both D1 and D2 against Claim 1, meaning Claim 1 is so broad it covers electrical D1 and thermal D2 types. Strategy: combine structural and functional limitations, e.g., add fluid-tight passageway plus metal plate plus position relationship, to distinguish from both.
Point 5. The subject matter of Claim 2 is not new with respect to D1. See paragraph 1 and figure 1, frame 104. And with respect to D2, see paragraph 1 and figure 1, the frame, 204. The frames disclosed in both documents support transparent covers and hold solar collectors.
Teaching note: the frame feature adds no novelty. Good dependent claim material, but useless for independence. Recognize: support, hold, equals generic mechanical function. Both prior arts already have it.
Point 6. The subject matter of Claim 3 is not new with respect to D1. See paragraph 2, 4, figures 1 and 2, metal plate, 107, and with respect to D2, see paragraph 2 and figure 1, metal plate, 207.
Teaching note: both prior arts use a metal plate, so it cannot define novelty. However, note that the position of the plate relative to the fluid passage may still differ. The later becomes the key amendment.
Point 7. The subject matter of Claim 4 is not new with respect to D1. See paragraph 2 and figure 1. D1 discloses a photovoltaic module, 106, mounted on the metal plate 107.
Teaching note: again, identical feature. This confirms that adding PV modules won't create novelty over D1. But remember, later you can remove the PV module to make a purely thermal variant, which will differentiate from D1.
Point 8. The subject matter of Claim 5 is not new with respect to D1. See paragraph 4 and figure 2. D1 discloses a roof tile 101 having a solar collector comprising a passageway 109 for fluid, wherein the metal plate 107 is arranged above the passageway, 109, in such a way that heat can be transferred from the metal plate, 107, to the fluid.
Teaching note: the examiner treats fins plus air channels as a passageway for fluid. Argument opportunity: those channels are open, not fluid tight. Therefore, by amending Claim 5 to specify fluid tight passageway, you can restore novelty. Key learning: subtle wording like fluid tight can make or break novelty.
Point 9. The term above in Claim 5 defines the position of the metal plate relative to the passageway ambiguously. Consequently, the subject matter of Claims 5, 6, and 7 can be considered as being not new with respect to the roof tile shown in Figure 1 of document D2 if it were to be turned over. The roof tile of document D2 has a solar collector which comprises a passageway for fluid within the tube 212. When the roof tile is turned over, the metal plate 207 is arranged above the passageway in such a way that heat can be transferred from the metal plate 207 to the fluid. See paragraph 3 in figure 1, claim 5. Furthermore, document D2 discloses the following additional features. The passageway is formed by a metal tube 212 having a circular cross-section. See paragraph 2 and figure 1. Claim 6. The roof tile comprises a plug connector, 211A, and a socket connector, 211BA, through which the fluid can enter and exit the passageway within the tube 212. See paragraph 2, 3, and fig 1, claim 7.
Teaching note. This is the core reasoning for the lack of novelty in claims 5 to 7. The examiner uses the ambiguity of above to argue that even D2 could meet the definition if inverted. Lesson. Claim wording must define orientation unambiguously relative to the cover. Proper fix, say, the metal plate is arranged between the transparent cover and the fluid-tight passageway. Secondary note. D2 already has the tube plus connectors, so those can't create novelty. They remain for dependent claims only.
Point 10. Claim 8 is unclear. Article 84 EPC, since it claims a system but refers to any of claims 1 to 7 which do not claim systems. Documents D1, paragraph 5, and D2, paragraph 4, both explicitly disclose solar collector systems.
Teaching note. Classic Article 84 mistake. Wrong antecedent. You can't define a system according to a tile claim. Fix by rewriting as a solar collector system formed from a plurality of roof tiles according to any of the preceding claims. This correction both clarifies scope and overcomes the Article 84 objection.
Point 11. It is noted that a solar collector which absorbs solar radiation to provide electrical and thermal energy is known from document D3.
Teaching note. This is not an objection, just an observation. D3 is cited to show that combining electrical plus thermal functions is known. Therefore, if you want to rely on dual energy generation as inventive, you must demonstrate a different structural concept, for example, the between arrangement.
Point 12. The applicant is invited to file amendments taking the above objections and comments into account.
Teaching note. The examiner's invitation signals that the application is salvageable with amendment. Your EQE task is precisely this. Draft a new claim set that overcomes novelty and clarity objections, and write a reasoned response explaining why. Step summary for candidates. Clarify ambiguous orientation, between instead of above. Add fluid-tight passageway. Keep connector details for dependent claims, especially plug-socket arrangement from Figure 5. Rewrite system claim to fix Article 84. Justify all amendments with explicit paragraph references, 11 to 17. Teaching summary. Identifying legal basis. Every objection is tied to a specific EPC article, such as Article 54 for novelty and Article 84 for clarity. Grouping objections. Combine points 3 to 9 under lack of novelty and point 10 under clarity. Selecting amendments. Add both structural and functional details to the claims to restore novelty. Planning your reply letter, address each numbered objection explicitly in your response and refer to the corresponding new claim numbers.
Documents D1, D2, and D3. Document D1, electrical roof tile. Summary. D1 discloses a roof tile 101 with transparent cover 103, ceramic frame 104, metal plate 107, photovoltaic module 106, and wires 108. A second version, figure 2 equals D1/2, adds comb-shaped fins 114 forming air channels, 109 under the plate for extra cooling.
Teaching note. Separate D1 into two items, D1/1, simple PV tile, and D1/2, finned variant. D1/1 equals electrical energy only, no fluid. D1/2 equals air convection channels equals open passageways, not fluid tight. This distinction will later let you argue novelty by adding fluid tight passageway. Also note the orientation. Fins below the plate equals plate above airflow, which superficially matches arranged above the passageway. Exactly why clarity mattered. Exam skill. Always list purpose plus energy type plus medium. D1, electrical, air cooling. D2, thermal, water heating. D3, combined panel, but not tile. Teaching note. The absence of a sealed fluid circuit is the main distinguishing feature. Keep that in mind when drafting the new independent claim. This alone restores novelty over D1.
Document D2, thermal roof tile. Summary. D2 discloses a roof tile 201 for heating water. Key elements. Transparent cover 203 plus frame 204. Reflective metal plate 207, above insulation 210. Metal tube 212, meandering circular cross-section, carrying water. Plug 211A and socket 211B connectors, forming system. Heat partly by direct irradiation of tube plus reflection from plate.
Teaching note, D2 equals purely thermal, no PV module. Orientation, tube above the plate. This spatial order is the opposite of the invention, where the plate is between the cover and the passageway. That inversion gives you your main distinguishing feature. When examiners say, if turned over, it's the same, they're flagging an ambiguity in your claim wording, not a real anticipation. Fix it with precise geometry. Plate between cover and fluid-tight passageway. Teaching note. Because D2 already includes a metal plate plus fluid tube plus connectors, you must rely on relative position for novelty and on robustness/appearance effects for inventive step.
Document D3, solar panel, not tile. Summary. D3 discloses a roof-mounted solar panel 315, not individual tiles. It combines electrical and thermal functions. Metal plate 307 with PV modules 306. Corrugated transparent cover 303, forming fluid-tight passageways 309 above the modules. Water flows through the passageways, forming lenses that focus light and cool the modules.
Teaching note. D3 is a different category, a large panel, not tiles. However, it shows that cooling PV modules with water is known. Thus, combining electricity plus heat is not new per se. Use this to focus your argument on the structural arrangement and roof integration aspect for inventive step. Exam hint. Never call a non-tile panel the closest prior art. If your claim is about a tile, different purpose and scale. Teaching note, D3 teaches the concept of dual output, but not the roof tile form factor nor the protective plate position. You can acknowledge D3 in your letter as showing the general idea, then argue that your specific arrangement improves robustness and aesthetics. Identify the closest prior art. The closest prior art is D2 or D1/2, since both describe roof tiles. Choose D2 if your claim focuses on thermal energy, or D1/2 if it concerns purely electrical energy. Define distinguishing features. The key distinguishing feature is that the metal plate is arranged between the transparent cover and the fluid-tight passageway. Phrase this carefully to restore novelty over D1 and D2. State technical effects. The invention improves robustness and appearance. Link these effects directly to the client's remarks about hail resistance and hidden tubes. Derive the objective technical problem. Formulate the problem as how to improve robustness and appearance of roof tiles with solar collectors. Keep the wording neutral and avoid including the solution. Argue inventive step. A skilled person would not invert D2's geometry or combine D2 with D1 or D3, because D2's reflective plate would lose its function if inverted. Use physical reasoning to support this argument.
Client's letter. Dear Mr. Rufus, please file a new set of claims to protect as many of the preferred embodiments of our invention as possible. The versions of our roof tiles which have no photovoltaic modules are very popular, because they only cost a little more than conventional roof tiles. All our roof tiles, which comprise solar collectors, which provide thermal energy, have the advantage that no tubes can be seen in the roof tiles when they are mounted. Additionally, these roof tiles are very robust. One customer reported that even when the transparent covers of some of our roof tiles were damaged in an exceptionally heavy hailstorm, no fluid leaked out of the roof tiles. The roof tile shown in Figure 5 of our application has the further advantage that, with such a roof tile, a solar collector system can be assembled faster than with the roof tile described in Document D2. Please make sure that appropriate features of this roof tile are included in the claim set you are to file. For your information, we are currently developing a frameless roof tile comprising a transparent cover, which is supported by a solar collector. Regards, A. Tyler.
Teaching note: the client's letter in EQE is always critical. It gives you business priorities, what must be protected, and sometimes introduces tempting but inadmissible subject matter. Your job is to extract what can safely enter the claims and what must be left out.
Protect as many preferred embodiments as possible.
Teaching note: this means your claim set should cover the basic thermal tile, no PV, the hybrid PV plus thermal tile, and the quick assembly connector variant, Figure 5. However, keep only one independent device claim. Others go into dependent or system claims.
Versions with no photovoltaic modules are very popular.
Teaching note: the client prefers the cheaper, thermal-only tiles. Therefore, your independent claim should not require a PV module. The examiner's report confirms this. Successful candidates removed the PV module from the main claim. Lesson: claim the broad concept, heat-collecting roof tile, and leave PV modules to dependent claims.
No tubes can be seen when mounted.
Teaching note: this line hints at an aesthetic advantage. Translate this into a technical effect. The metal plate shields the passageway, improving appearance. This supports the inventive step argument later, improves robustness and appearance. Never copy aesthetic language into claims. Keep it as part of your problem solution reasoning.
Very robust. No fluid leaked even when cover broke.
Teaching note: another clue to the technical effect of the structure. Because the passageway is under the metal plate, it's protected from mechanical damage. Use this in the letter of reply when formulating the objective technical problem. How to improve robustness and reliability of a roof-integrated solar collector.
Figure 5. Assemble faster than D2. Include appropriate features.
Teaching note: the client explicitly requests protection for the plug and socket connector arrangement. Implementation: add a dependent claim describing the connectors located on opposite sides so that adjacent tiles automatically engage. Also mention this advantage in your response letter to show commercial value.
Frameless roof tile. Transparent cover supported by solar collector.
Teaching note: this last sentence describes something under development, not disclosed in the application. Adding it would violate Article 123(2) EPC. No basis. So, acknowledge it in your internal reasoning, but do not include it in any claim or argument. In the examiner's report, this amendment would lose 20 points. Prioritizing the client's wishes versus EPC compliance. Cover all embodiments, yes. Use one broad independent claim and dependent claims for the different variants. Protect thermal-only tile, yes. Draft the independent claim without including a photovoltaic module. Hide tubes' improved appearance, yes. Refer to this as a technical effect in your arguments, not as a claim feature. Include quick assembly, Figure 5, yes. Add a dependent claim describing the plug and socket connector arrangement. Add frameless design, no way. There is no basis for this in the application, so including it would violate Article 123(2) EPC. Teaching summary: when reading a client letter, underline any request about features or advantages. They become claim and argument targets. Circle any new or speculative ideas. They're usually unallowable subject matter. The client's wording gives you clues for inventive step effects, robustness, appearance, assembly speed. Remember, the best answers balance commercial wishes with EPC legality.